Hello, thank you. Hello, thank you for joining me. This is Cephas. It's been a while since I have been online to do this show or this session with you. So today I'm going to talk about something very, very important, something that will change you, your life story. I want to give you an opportunity just to share this before I begin. So just spend some time, share it with someone, let someone join us, and I will start with you very, very soon. Today we are talking about what happens before and after the age 30. What happens before and after the age 30? It is a very important subject that will affect you. In fact, it will get you thinking for the rest of the night after this session is over. You have often heard people say that age is just a number and age does not matter. Well, it is not true. Age is not just a number and age does matter. And today I will show you the power of age, the significance of age. And I will zero in and I will talk to you especially on the age 30. The age 30. The age 30 has a very significant effect on your calling and your purpose. And today I'm going to take you through certain views that society, civilization has had from its onset. I will talk to you about what philosophers think about the age 30. I will talk to you about what science think about the age 30. And I'll talk to you about what religion, including the Bible, Judaism, Buddhism, think about the age 30. This will affect your life. You will also come to realize how the age 30 affects your age. Not just your age, but how it affects your prayer life. If you are someone that prays, you will come to recognize that the age 30 has a very significant role in your prayer life. It has a role to play in your decision making. It has a role to play in your destiny. So I'm going to tell you what happens before and after the age 30. But spend this time and just share this on social media. Those of you who are on Facebook, share it with a friend on Facebook. Share it with a friend on Facebook. Let them join us. Let them join us. Share it. Take this opportunity and share it. It's been a long time I've been online with you on these sessions. So I'm going to give you a lot of good information today that is going to change your life. I want to warn you that this is not a prayer session. If you are here for prayer, this is not a prayer session. This is not a preaching session. I will not be preaching. I will not be praying. This is a mentoring session. This is a counseling session, an advising session, a session on life skill that will change your life. So give me some time. Let's just talk and let me reason with you about your life a bit. But take some time, share it with someone, share it with someone. Let someone be part of this. Let someone be part of this. I will start in the next 60 seconds. In the next 60 seconds, I want to give you some time to share it so that someone can be part of this session today. Somebody can be part of this session today. Somebody can be part of it. So take your time and share it. Take your time and share it. Those of you who are on YouTube, just share it on YouTube. Share it on YouTube. Let someone join us. 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 Let somebody be affected by what we talk about today. I promise you that what you are about to hear today will change your life story. What you are about to hear today will change how you make decisions in life. There is power to age. There is significance to age. And I'll be talking specifically on the age 30, the age 30 years. I'll be talking about what happens before and what happens after the age 30. If you are not 30 yet, you want to hear this. If you're already 30 years of age, you seriously want to hear this as well. But this will be a greater impact on those of you who are not yet 30. Those of you who are over 30 years, this might get you a little bit disappointed with your life because it will bring you back to realignment. It will bring you back to refocus. It will get you to re-examine your life. And by the time you are done, you will take an audit of your own life. So take some time and share it. Okay. All right. Thank you all for joining us. Thank you. Thank you so much for being part of this. Thank you for sharing it with someone. And thank you for bringing somebody on board with this. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Just share it, share it, share it. Just spend some time, share it. I'll be starting in the next few minutes right now. Just share it. Let somebody be part of this. Let somebody be part of this. Let somebody be part of this. Just share it quickly. Share it quickly. If you're on YouTube, those of you who are watching on YouTube live, share it. I'll be talking to you about the power of age. The power of age. The effect of age in your calling and your purpose, the effect of age in your decision making. So share it with someone. Share it with someone. I'm about to start in the next 15 seconds. I'll be starting with you very, very soon. In 15 seconds, I'll be starting with you very, very, very soon. So just share it with someone. Let someone be part of this. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, all of you, for joining us. Thank you, Ellen. Thank you, Robinson. Those of you who have joined us, I thank you so much for joining us. I thank you so much for being part of this. I thank you so much for being part of it. Thank you so much. All right, so I want us to begin right now. There was a man in the 19th century. He was a playwright. He was a dramatist. He won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1925. His name was called Bernard Shaw. In fact, the full name was George Bernard Shaw. And he made a statement and he said, if at age 20, you are not a communist, then you have no heart. He said, if at age 20, you are not a communist, then you have no heart. And he also said, if at age 30, you are not a capitalist, then you have no brains. That statement, as far as the age 30 is concerned, is a very damning statement. He said, if at age 30, you are not a capitalist, you have no brains. If at age 20, if by the age of 20, throughout your 20s, you are, if at the age of 20, you are not a communist, then he said that you have no heart. Now, what does this mean? And let me explain this to you. Let me explain this to you what this means. You have to understand the significance before 30 years. Anyone below the age of 30 is considered a communist. And I'm using this terminology, communist and capitalist. I will explain these principles to you very, very soon. So just listen to me. This is going to benefit you a lot. Anyone below the age of 20 is a capitalist. Is a communist. And anyone above the age of 30 is a capitalist. Let me say this again. Anyone below the age of 30 is a communist. Anyone above the age of 30 is a capitalist. I will explain these things to you in the course of my lessons so that you understand how this principle works. You see, a communist is someone who works for the common good of other people. A communist is someone who wants to benefit everybody else. A communist is someone who believes that the wealth of the world should be shared together. A communist is someone who believes that we should bring everything together and let's share it among us. A capitalist is someone who only thinks about themselves and their nuclear family. So the principle is simply saying that anyone below the age of 30 thinks about everyone else. Anyone above the age 30 only thinks about themselves and their nuclear family. I will explain that to you, but just keep that principle at the very core of your mind. And let's understand this. There is power to age. You have often heard people make a statement, and people often will say things as though age is just a number, they will say. And they will tell you that, age is a number, age does not matter. But it is not true. Age matters a lot, and age is not just a number. You recognize in life that the decisions you made at the age of 12 are not the decisions you are making at the age of your 20s. They are not the same decisions you make in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and so forth and so on. And so age is not just a number. Age has a very significant role to play in your destiny. That is why it is important that you understand this. Is there wisdom in age? Yes, there is wisdom in age. When you read the story of Jesus, you are told that he grew in stature and in wisdom. So we understand that as he grew in age, his wisdom increases. Every individual, as you grow, your wisdom increases. There are 4 levels of wisdom. And one of them is called, 5 levels. One of them is academic wisdom. Wisdom that you acquire through education. and so forth and so on. The other one is called divine wisdom, wisdom you acquire from God. The other one is diabolical wisdom, wisdom you acquire through mysticism, things such as satanisms and so forth and so on. And then there is what we call experiential wisdom, experiential wisdom. So basically these are the four kinds of wisdom. Academic wisdom, wisdom that you acquire as a result of going to school, just like the doctors, the engineers, and so forth and so on. I mean, they acquire wisdom as a result of their education. And then there is divine wisdom, wisdom that comes from God. And then there is demonic or diabolical wisdom, wisdom that comes from mysticism, such as satanism and all those dark crafts and arts and so forth and so on. And then there is experiential wisdom. Experiential wisdom comes as a result of age. As you grow, your experience increases. As you grow, you learn. As you grow, you graduate in wisdom. So wisdom does come with age. Age grows with wisdom. There is a story in the Jewish antiquity book, the book of Lamentation 5, where Jeremiah made a statement and said that the elders have ceased from the gate. He said the elders have ceased from the gate. And because of that, the children have ceased from their music. So what he's saying is that because there are no more elders, the younger ones were suffering. Age is very, very important. The wisdom of age is crucial to life. There was a story as well in the Hebrew antiquity where the king of Egypt, Pharaoh, met Jacob. When he met Jacob, Jacob was around 130 years old. And Pharaoh met him. Pharaoh was old at that time as well. He was very, very old as well. But then he was not as old as Jacob. So this is what the king did. When the king was introduced to Jacob, he asked Jacob a question. He said, "How old are you?" And Jacob said, "The years of my age are full of pain, sorrows." So Pharaoh asked him his age, and he began to tell him his experiences, things that he has went through. He was trying to tell him that what through age, this is what he has learned. Through age, this is what he has suffered. Age has taught him wisdom. So immediately Pharaoh asked Jacob to lay his hands upon him and pray for him. You see, Pharaoh is a king. A king will never allow anyone to lay their hands on them and pray for them. But because of the age of Jacob, the king Pharaoh said, "Lay your hands on me and pray for me." There is wisdom in age. There is impartation of goodness that comes from age. Never undermine age. Never undermine people who are older than you. Never disrespect anyone who is older than you. Even if the person is only 1 year older than you. I am telling you that there is impartation from age. There is strength in age. Never disrespect age. You will never live to become what you do not respect. What you do not respect will never give you access in life. Remember that. If you do not respect age, you will never attain to be old. So respect age and understand age. Understand the principle that age has on your life. I want you to understand that there are principles in life if you want to succeed. One of the principles in life is the principle of age. There are other principles that many of you Christians know, like the principles of prayer. Prayer is good. It is a principle. Wisdom is also a principle. Solomon said wisdom is a principal thing, which means that wisdom is the first principle, he said. But it is not the last thing. He said it is the first thing, which means it is not the last thing. There are principles that governs life. If you want to succeed, you must discover these principles and walk according to it. Many people are successful in life, not because they are attached to God, but because they have walked by principles. And understand this. Many people are successful in life, not because they are attached to God, but because they are attached to principles. Principles are beneficial to success. So today I'm going to talk to you about one key principle, the principle of age. The principle of age. And I want you to understand that wisdom is accumulated in age. Wisdom is accumulated in age. And you have to understand that. You also have to understand that those of you who pray, I said this is not a prayer session, but I want to give you a key, that your prayer life changes as you grow. The dynamics of your prayer life changes as you grow. It is better for an aged person to pray for you than for a younger person to pray for you. Understand that principle. In the Jewish home, they have an ancient practice, and this practice is not only kept by the Hebrews or the Jews, it is kept by the people from the eastern part of the world. The people from the eastern part of the world keeps this principle of age. And the principle is that every time they gather at the dinner table, the oldest in the family must rise, stretch his hands, and lay a blessing upon everyone on the dining table. That is the sources of their lifestyles. They respect age and they respect its effect on their life. So today I'm going to talk to you about society's understanding of age 30. I'm going to zero in on the age 30, the significance of the age 30, what you must know. So I'm going to zero in on that age 30. Later on, I will talk about the age 40. I am not yet 40. I'm just hitting there very, very close. I can't tell you my age, but I'm just hitting there close. But I want you to understand the age 40 is the age of establishment. It is the age of settlement. It is the age where people are often concerned more about their family, their life, their values, their work. Those things evolves around that age 40 and upward. But I'm talking to you about the age 30, a very crucial age. Bernard Shaw calls the age 30 the age of the capitalist, or it is the age where you become a capitalist in principle. In other words, it is the age where you become self-centered. It is the age where you become self-seeking. It is the age where you become selfish. And I will explain these principles to you so that you understand. Those of you who are in your 30s, you must understand that this is the age of me. It's the age about you. It is the age to focus on you. And there is no error in focusing on yourself on this age. It is very, very crucial, because if you are not careful, you will miss your life in that bracket if you don't focus on yourself in that bracket. Those of you below the age 30, I will tell you a principle that governs your life before the age 30. So pay attention carefully. So I will talk to you today about society's emphasis on the age 30. I will also talk to you about the biblical emphasis on the age 30. I will talk to you about the scientific emphasis on the age 30. What does science teaches about the age 30? So we are not only talking about what the Bible tells about the age 30 or what society thinks about the age 30, but we will even talk about what science think about the age 30. We will also talk about what other religions think about the age 30, so that you understand the observations and the point of views of these principles, so that you understand that this principle is absolute. You understand that this principle governs your life, whether you like it or not, whether you understand it or not, whether you obey it or not. This principle governs your life. If you are approaching the age 30, you should know how to conduct your life. If you are within the bracket of your 30s, you should know how to approach your life. If you are above that age, you should know what to be doing by now. So towards the end of my lesson today, I will give you 10 things you should never do before you turn 30. 10 things you should never do before you turn 30. And I will give you 5 things you should never do after the age 30. So pay attention closely. I will tell you those things at the end of this session. Don't miss it. Stay with me. So let's talk about what science thinks about the age 30. If you have just joined us, I want you to share this. Let someone be part of this. I'm talking about what happens before and after the age 30. The significance of the wisdom in age. Now, what does science say about the age 30? You'll be surprised. But science has discovered, through a research that was conducted, science has come to the conclusion that, sorry, I got interrupted by my phone for a second, but science has come to a conclusion through a research that was done, that real happiness begins at the age 33. I don't know why. I don't know what caused them to draw that conclusion, but I will explain the letter that I understood from that research. But according to scientific research, real happiness begins at the age 33. This same scientific research tells us that the best age you will ever enjoy in your life is the age 35. It is very interesting. But according to a scientific research, the best age you will ever enjoy is the age 35. Real happiness begins at the age 33. Understand this, just follow with me. The next thing you have to understand, according to this research that they did. Now, this research was done in the US, and this research was also done in Britain. And they said that they took a poll, a survey of people who are above 100 years. And they asked them questions. And they discovered that all the people above 100 years, majority of them concluded that the best time of their lives happened in their 30s. Listen carefully. The people in their hundreds who were surveyed in a scientific research concluded, and they said that the best times in their life occurred in their 30s. The best times in their life occurs in their life, in their 30s. Now, this is critical. Now, those of you who don't understand how these things work, understand this by the scientific deduction. That at the age 30, between that your 30 years, in the scientific research, it was concluded that it is the age of life audit. It is the age of life audit. In other words, it is the age of life assessment. The age where you begin to assess your life. The age where you begin to think about your life carefully. Because you know something. Anyone who is approaching the age 30, from the bracket of 27, 28, 29, you begin to have anxiety crashes, anxiety problems. And it is very, very significant a lot in the life of women. That is why a lot of women want to marry before they are 30 years. Because they begin to experience some anxiety that tells them that they are behind life. And they begin to make decisions that are poorly thought out. Last year, there was a research on CNN, and they invited college students. And when they invited the college students, they asked them, at what age would you like to get married? And in that research, over 85% of the college students says they would like to get married in their 30s. The research asked them a question, why? And each one of them said that it is at that age that they will be able to know their left from their right. Because what you must understand is that before the age 30, all what they were thinking about was their careers. All what they were thinking about was their purpose and their callings. So towards the end of this session, I'll make you understand that the age 30 is the age where you finalize your calling and your purpose in life. Your callings and your purpose in life. It is the age where you begin to conclude on your life assessment. And you begin to decide what you shall do in your adulthood, which begins at the age 40. The age below the age 30 is simply called the age of innocence. Anyone below the age 30 is still experiencing a life of innocence. You may think you are very smart right now, but you are not. You may think you are very intelligent right now, but you are not. I have told a lot of people to understand this principle very, very carefully. There is a danger when you get married below the age 30. And I'll explain this as we go forward. There is a danger when you get married below the age 30. Now, let me explain this to you. Past in the days, in the ancient times, people married, women especially, not men, but women especially married in their below 25 years. They married in their late teens and all kinds of things. There was a reason for that. And I will explain that. But the reason was, most of the time was because of the dominance of the men. Because at that time it gave the men the right to rule them. And not just that, also in those days, women did not work. Women tended to the house. They took care of the house and all kinds of things. So because of that, they really married early for the very reason that they did not have responsibilities outside the home. Now, when you come into the modern society where women are working and women are going to the workforce and all kinds of things, and most women even have a great role in the workforce than men, you find out that women who are involved in the workforce find it very, very hard for them to marry because their life gets so busy. So most of these women who are so educated conclude where their husbands become the babysitter, because at that point he's the one who is making the lesser income in the house. So they decide that the husband will make the lesser income. So society has evolved. The danger in this society, especially those of you who are Africans and maybe blacks or Caribbeans who have had a long culture where in fact most of you want to marry before you are 30, that is dangerous. Society has changed. You should not marry at the age that your mother married. You should not. You should settle your life very, very carefully before you make a decision towards marriage. I told you that according to science, life audit begins at the age 30. The age below 30 is the age of innocence. It is called the age of childhood naivety. In other words, below that age, you are naive, but you do not even know that you are. There was a study in Harvard. This study was conducted in the 20th century. And the study made a statement and said that personalities do not change after the age 30. In other words, your personality will not change after you are 30. That is why I said that those of you who are marrying below the age 30, you should be very, very careful, because the person you are marrying, if he is a fool, he is going to be a fool. Personalities do not evolve after the age 30. What you have to understand is that the evolution of personality changes only a tiny little bit after the age 30. And the change is so insignificant that it may be irrelevant to you. Now, things could happen. There are exceptions to every rule on earth. So you must understand that. But I want you to understand the basic fundamental principles of age before you embark on a journey of marriage, a journey of career, a journey of anything that you want to do. You must understand this very, very carefully. You must sit down very, very carefully, calculate your life, determine your purpose before you get married. Do not get married without knowing your calling in life, because your calling may change your life partner. Understand this. Your calling may have a significant effect on your life partner. I was counseling a couple many years ago, about 4 years ago. And when the lady was getting married to the man, I sat with her because I knew the lady personally. And I sat with her and I said, and I asked her, how long have you known this man? She said unto me that, oh, I've known him for about a year and he's good, I'm in love and all kinds of things. But the lady was not a young person. The lady was in her mid-30s, or I think she was around 31, basically around that age. So she was eager to get married, and she found this tall, handsome guy, very, very nice guy, very, very handsome. And the guy was in church. He was playing the drum, the conga in church and all kinds of things. And the lady thought this is a good thing. So they hook up, and I said unto her, I said, how long? She told me how long. I said, listen, take some time, think about this carefully, go through some counseling for a while before you settle for this thing. To cut a long story short, they got married. And when they got married, they were living with each other. And 6 months later, I had a call from the lady. And the lady began to complain about the man. She began to tell me the guy does not go to church anymore. The guy does not want to pray with her anymore. And all kinds of crazy stuff. So I prayed with her, did my pastoral duties, and let it slide. And I waited, believing with her that something would change, though I knew nothing would change. But 9 months, 3 months later, which is 9 months later, she calls me again and she began complaining. This time she was not happy at all. So I decided to sit with the gentleman and speak to the man. So I sat with the man all by himself, which is a good thing to do. Because sometimes when you sit with the man and the woman, you don't know, some of the men will not speak their heart. So I spoke to the man alone, just to find out what was in his heart. The man said something to me. He said, when I married her, I didn't know this about her. And I said, what? The man said, she has become a pastor. And I was surprised, but I agreed with the man. I understood exactly where he was coming from. So I began to ask the man, what do you mean she's a pastor? Because as far as I'm concerned, she is not a pastor. She calls me always for prayer. I do deliverance for her always. And I don't know, and nobody has ordained her as a pastor, so I don't know. So the guy was like, she goes to the prayer line every day. She's leading the prayer line and all kinds of things. And she's always prophesying on people on the prayer line. And every time she wakes up telling me she has a dream and this is what she sees. And she's a prophetess and God is speaking to her and all kinds of things. So I said, okay, fine. I heard the guy's story. So I called the guy, I called the lady, and I spoke to the lady, and I said, this is what the guy said. Is it true? And she said, oh, Pastor, you know, God has changed me. God has lifted me up. God has elevated me. Right now, I preach. Right now, I pray so much and all kinds of things. And I invite him to come and pray at 4 a.m. and he doesn't want to pray. And I said, wait a minute. I said, remember, when you marry this guy never knew that you will become a pastor. This guy never knew that there was a 4 a.m. prayer meeting on the calendar and on the agenda. Your life has changed after 1 year of your marriage. You should also expect some time for the guy to change and not force him to follow your change and what has happened to you. You must understand this very, very carefully. The person you think you know right now is going to be a completely different person after the age 30. Believe me. The person you think you know right now is going to be a completely different person after the age 30. If you are about to get married, take your counseling very, very seriously. Ask a lot of questions before you get involved to anyone that you are going to get married if you are not yet 30. Because any guy that makes a decision below the age of 30, I don't trust them. I've said this to a little female that I don't trust any guy below the age 30 because I was below the age 30 some time ago too. So I know what I'm talking about. I am not just only talking about principles. I am not only talking about theories. I am also talking about experience. Do not trust any guy below the age 30. Whatever he promised, whatever he says, do not trust it. It does not stick. The reason also is because of the fact that women grow faster than men. I want you to understand that women grow faster than men. A woman at the age of 25 is as wise as a man at the age of 30. That is why when you are a woman and you are 25 and you are dating a guy at the age of 26 or 27, it is not beneficial to you yet. Because that guy is going to change. I told you before that according to scientific research, you must understand that anyone below the age 30 is in the age bracket of the age of innocence. They are still naive. They are still ignorant about the circumstance in life. So this is some scientific observations and research and understanding and all kinds of things. So pay attention carefully and understand where I'm coming from. Now, let's put scientific observations aside. I'll come back to that later. Let me talk about some biblical observations. Let me tell you about some things about what the Bible says about the age 30. Joseph became the vicar of Egypt at the age 30. In the Jewish antiquity book of Genesis 41 verse 46, the writer gave us the exact age of Joseph. Why did the writer give us the exact age at which Joseph became the vicar? Why did the writer tell us the exact age at which Joseph became the governor of Egypt? I'm going to make you understand these principles as these principles do not only affect people in the biblical times, but it's also affected civilization. Public office in civilization were occupied at the age 30. You must understand that in the United States, for you to hold a public office, a political office, a governmental office, you must be at least the age 30. Why? Why is it that the framers of the Constitution of the United States decided that for you to run for any political office, you must be at least the age 30? It tells you that there is a significance to that age. There is a reason why the framers of the Constitution believe that for you to hold a governmental role in life, a public role in life, a leadership role in life, you should be at the age 30. Never trust a leader who is not 30 years yet. Write that down. Believe me. Never trust a leader who is not yet 30. So let's move on from the political aspect of life. And let's talk about the biblical aspect once again. So Joseph became the vicar of Egypt, the governor of Egypt, the prime minister of Egypt. At the age of 30, he occupied that position. The writer tells us. Saul, one of the characters, also occupied a role in life. Saul also became king at the age 30. He also took a governmental position in life at the age 30. If that was not significant enough, David, the person who occupied the governmental position after Saul, also took the role at the age of 30. David was 16 years of age when he was anointed to be king, but he never occupied the position of the kingdom. God never made David a leader. Understand this. God never made David a leader until David turned 30. Approximately 31 years, he became the leader. So you must understand these principles, that most of you will never have certain responsibilities in life. And I'm talking about leadership responsibilities in life. You will never graduate into a leadership responsibility in life until you have crossed that age 30. Because the principle is that anyone below the age of 30 is operating in the age of innocence. You are naive. You just do not know that, but once again, you are. No, I understand this. So, the next thing you must understand is that it was not just Joseph, it was not just Saul, it was not just David, but the next thing you must also understand is this, is that according to the Hebrew laws, according to the Judaic principles of selecting a priest, in order for you to become a priest who will officiate in the Jewish services, you must be at least age 30. You must be at least age 30 for you to serve in the office of a priest. When you read First Chronicles 23 verse 3, and when you read the book of Numbers and you read the Levitical books of the Hebrews, we understood some principles that they walked by. That at the age of 25, people were taken as apprentice as a priest, but they do not take a role as a priest. In other words, in your 20s, you can be taken as an apprentice as a pastor. In your 20s, you can be taken as an apprentice as a priest, but you should never be allowed to lead. You should have an oversight. You should not. That is why Paul said that he who desires the office of a bishop should not be a novice. You must understand this things very, very carefully. So you must understand that the Jewish people do not allow anyone below the age 30 to perform the duties of a priest. There was a reason to that. The principle is that leadership begins at the age 30. Write it down. That is the principle I'm trying to get you to. Leadership begins at the age 30. The Jewish people believed it. The Babylonians believed it. Civilizations in the Roman kingdom believed it. Civilizations in the Greek kingdoms believed it. The Greek kingdoms make us understand something. Yes, Felicia, there are some people above the age 30 who are not matured. That does not negate the point. It depends on your definition of what maturity is. I will explain this as I go to the end of my saying. A fool who is in his 70s has a lot to teach you if you are younger. A fool in their 70s has a lot to teach you. Whether you believe it or not, take it from me. So I want you to understand these things. But then I will talk about this at the end of my thing, because I've heard a lot of young people, because some time ago I was teaching on the significance of the age 30 and people asked me the same questions and things like that. And I've also heard a lot of young people say that, there are people who are in their 50s and 60s and they are not even matured yet and all kinds of things. It depends on your understanding of maturity. But I will explain that to you later on. But like I said, even a fool in his 70s has something to teach you if you are younger than they are. Do not undermine age. Do not take age for granted. There is wisdom in age. There is power in age. Let's go back to my subject so that I can explain these things to you very, very carefully. Now, one of the things you have to understand, as I was saying before, if I have questions towards the end of my lessons, I'll take questions. So those of you on YouTube who have questions and things like that, if I have some time, I will take questions. So if you have questions, just write your questions down, because I know I am saying a lot of things that will That is probably shocking to most of you. A lot of things that are thought provoking to most of you. So hold on to your questions. At the end of the sessions, I will give you opportunity to ask your questions, because maybe your question might even be answered by the time I'm done with my lesson with you today. Okay, so thank you. So one of the things you have to understand is that the ancient Romans, the ancient Greeks, all of the ancient civilizations established that leadership begins from the age 30. They did not allow anyone to be a senate in the Roman kingdom unless they were at least 30 years. They did not allow anyone to be in the congressional position in the ancient Greek kingdom unless you are at least the age 30. The same way in the Jewish civilization, in the Jewish government, they did not allow anyone to be a priest. In the book of Leviticus, those of you who are pastors, go and read it. They did not allow anyone to perform the duties of a priest until they were age 30. You can be an apprentice at a young age and you can grow into it, but you can only perform the duties of a priest after you have attained 30 years in the kingdom of the Hebrew people. That is why Jesus only began his ministry at the age 30. That is why John the Baptist began his ministry at the age 30. That is why Ezekiel launched his ministry at the age 30. Ezekiel said in the 30th year, on the first month, that is when he received his calling. So you must understand this. Jeremiah was called. I am not answering questions now until I'm done. Jeremiah was called. If you have questions, hold on to it, please, for a second for me. I will answer them later. I beg you for that. Now, Jeremiah was called at the age 17 years of age. And he argued with God. The reason why he argued with God was because it was against the Judaic code of a minister to operate at that age. And God gave him an assurance. But you must remember, if any one of you have read the book of Jeremiah, you must recognize that his ministry took its peak after his later years. It was not in his early years. He began to prophesy. But remember that he was not a leader. He was a prophet. There was a difference between being a leader, shepherding people, taking care of people, and being a prophet. So there was a difference between that. If you are going to shepherd people, if you are going to lead people, the age 30 is the age of leadership. You must also understand that Jeremiah's office as a prophet took his peak as he grew. You must also understand that. So one of the things you must understand these things is that at the age 30, this is research as civilization has evolved. We begin to understand these principles as civilization evolved. That at the age 30, your physical and your mental faculties mature. At the age 30, your physical and your mental faculties mature. And you must know that, because I told you that below the age 30 is called the age of innocence. It's called the age of being naive. It is the age where you try different things, you test different things. I mean, I will talk details about that later on, so hang with me for a second if you have any questions. Now, it is said that at the age 30, your leadership abilities are activated. The leadership activity of an individual is activated at the age 30. Now, those of you who are pastors and leaders of different kinds of things, I want you to understand that I became a pastor before age 30. I've been a pastor for about 15 years now. So I want you to understand that. So I am not saying this as a backlash. I'm saying this knowing where I started from, knowing things which governs my life and all kinds of things. And I will explain that to you later on so that you understand how I overcame those things in that young age and things like that. Now, understand this, as I said before, your leadership capabilities are activated at the age 30. If you are yearning to be a leader, do not be in a haste. Start your vision right now. Work on your vision. Prepare yourself for life right now. The activation of your leadership will begin after the age 30. Even if you start something right now, you will grow to understand it differently after the age 30. You will grow to understand it differently after the age 30. The next thing also is that throughout history, if you are a historian, you understand this. Throughout history, you will come to understand that the age 30 has been an age of significant responsibility. Every time you come across a historic figure and you look deep into their life, you will realize that their 30s was the age of responsibility for them. Their 30s was the most crucial turning point of their life. It changed who they were. So understand that. If you have any questions, write them down. I will talk about them. I will talk about that later and things like that. Many years ago, about 5 years ago, I was reading the Torah commentaries, and I came across one of the commentators. His name was called Rashbam, and Rashbam is one of the 12th century respected commentators of the Jewish Torah. And he made a statement. He said, at the age 30, you are worthy of leadership. He said, at the age 30, a person is worthy of leadership. It is not only Rashbam who believes this. This is something that is taught through the ancient Hebrew or Jewish antiquity history. That at the age 30, one is worthy of leadership. And I told you before that this is so significant that we see it in the Roman culture, Roman civilization, the Greek civilization, and when the American Constitution was formed, the underlying statement was that a leader or someone who is running for political leadership must be at least age 30 in the US. So you must understand those things, that those things are crucial. The age 30 is significant. Let me say this once again, if I may go back to the Judaic laws and things like that, just to put some depth and understanding to those of you who are still in questions. The code of the Jewish Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish holiday, which is one of the biggest Jewish holidays in the seasons. There is a code in the Rosh Hashanah. And the code is that no one should be appointed to lead the service who is not at least age 30. There is an instruction given to the congregation. There is an instruction given that certain qualities that must be sought after. In other words, before they do the Rosh Hashanah services, there are certain rules and certain codes, certain laws that the congregation is supposed to follow. And one of the most important code is that the person who leads the service should not be below the age 30. That person must be at least age 30 before he can lead a service. So this is very, very important. It is the paramount, the basic law or code by which the Jewish people abide by to regulate a service. The reason is because why? Why do they believe that at age 30 the person is worthy of leadership? Why do they believe that at age 30 the person should be given a role to shepherd other people? Why? Because they believe that at age 30 one has acquired what is called divine humility or pure humbleness. That you reach divine humility at age 30. You can understand that because basically Jesus reached that age 30 as the age of divine humility, where he approached John the Baptist and he went down on his knees and he was baptized, even though he was higher than John the Baptist. So you could understand that. So the Jewish civilization believes that the age 30 is one of divine humility. It's one of the divine humility. Those of you who are not 30 years, I am telling you, it's going to change your life, crucially. The Jewish people also concluded that at the age 30 is one, oh, sorry, they believe that at the age 30 is one able to pray with a pure heart. They believe that one is able to pray with a pure heart only at the age 30. In other words, what they are trying to say is that sincerity of prayer changes after the age 30. I will explain those things to you very soon as well. Why? When I'm explaining the principles below the age 30. So he's saying that sincerity of prayer, pure prayer, begins after the age 30. The reason is because there are certain things you understand at that age that you did not understand before in life. I want you to understand that in life, there is a time. We have 24 hours in time. The 12 o'clock hour, the midnight hour, is the 0 hour, the hour of decision making. The age 30 stands between life as the age of decision making. It is the age where life stops and life begins again. It is the age where life stops and life begins again. So throughout civilization, we have come to understand from philosophers, we have come to understand from psychologists, we have come to understand from religious people all throughout civilization that at the age 30, you begin to understand decision making at that age. What else? The age 30 is also termed the moment of truth. The moment of truth in a person's life. It means it is the age where reality takes hold of you. That is why many young people panic, especially females, when they approach the age 30 and, they are not married, and people panic. Even men also panic when you're approaching 30 and you have not done nothing with your life. When you are in your 30s and your life is torn about and you are still not working. You don't have a purpose. You don't have a calling. That is a place that you do not want to be. You get confused. You get perplexed. And all kinds of things. And if you are not careful, you might take your life. More people commit suicide towards this age than any other age. Because it is the age where reality sets in for you. It is the age where the childhood foolishness stops. It is the age where you begin to think for yourself. So at that age, you gain a stable heart. At that age, you are focused on vision. At that age, you are focused on vision. The reason is because of the fact that at that age, you realize that you are out of time. Anyone who ever accomplished anything in life, any successful person in life, began building before the age 30. In your age 30s is the age to focus on vision. You must have a vision by that age. You must have a purpose by that age. And this is crucial. So, now let me explain this. I began this session. Let me see what time it is before I go on. Oh my God. My time is almost up. So let me run up so that if you have questions, you can ask them. I began this question by saying a couple of things. I began these sessions by saying a couple of things. I gave you a quote by George Bernard Shaw when he said, if by the age 20 you are not a communist, you have no heart. And if by the age 30 you are not a capitalist, you have no brains. A communist is an idealist. A capitalist is a practicalist. Someone who is involved in the practicality of life. So we are talking about idealism and practicality. Anyone below the age 30, according to the philosopher and the playwright Bernard Shaw, is a communist. What does that mean? When you are below 30, the world is an open book for you. You begin to see the world that, the world has everything. When you are below the age 30, you begin to think that you can do anything. Your vision is not focused. You begin to think that I can do anything. You begin to say all this thing, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that, when you are below the age 30. After the age 30, reality sets in. You realize you can only be one thing and be only one thing. It's as simple as that. But I'll talk about that. When you were below the age 30, each one of us acted this way. You wanted to help everyone. You believe that no one should be poor. You believe that society is wicked. Why do rich people have all this money and they don't share with poor people? When you are below the age 30, you begin to think like a communist. You become an idealist. You begin to think that, you are going to help the world, you are going to do this for the world. But after the age 30, that mindset change, because you can't even pay your own rent. You are struggling to eat. You are struggling to get a job. Reality sets in because in fact, below the age 20, somebody is paying your rent. Somebody is giving you a bed to lay on. So you are there thinking broad. Below the age 30, I wanted everything now. Everything has to happen now. After the age 30, practicality sets in. You begin to realize that you can have what you want now. It doesn't matter how bad you want it. You can have it now. So, below the age 30, you begin to think, I can do anything or I can accomplish anything. After the age 30, reality changes you. You begin to recognize that you cannot do everything. You can only do something. You begin to recognize that you cannot change anyone. You cannot change the world. You can only change yourself. Reality begins to set in at that point. When you are below that age 30, you begin to think no one should be poor, no one should be sick, and all kinds of things. The reason is because you had no apartment, you had no job, somebody was taking care of you, and all kinds of things. You had no case, you had none of those things. So because you had no case and you had none of those things, you begin to think that you can help the whole world. And that is the communist principle. So Bernard Shaw said that if by the age 20 you are not a communist, you are not thinking like this, it means you have no heart. Which means, around your 20s, it's okay to think that way. It means you have a heart. Anyone who does not think that way does not have a heart. Around that age, we have this mindset. I'm going to conquer the world. I'm going to take over the world. And all kinds of things. We have this unrealistic, unpractical mindset about the world. But after the age 30, you become a capitalist. What does it mean to become a capitalist? It means that you become self-centered. It means life becomes about you. It means at that point you have moved from your mother's house, your father's house. If you have not moved already, I'll talk to you at the end of the saying. At the end of the lesson, I'll talk to you about that too. But it means that after the age 30, reality sets in. When now you are paying bills. And after you are paying bills, you realize you can't pay someone's bill. You can't take care of anybody who is starving. Because you realize that money really does not come easy. Things begin to change. After the age 30, you now become more humble than you were before. Life humbles you. Life calms you down. Before you were naive. Now by that age 30, you become humble. You begin to think straight. You begin to realize that you can't save the world. Because in fact, you can't save your own life. You begin to realize these things. You become a realist. You become patient. And now you begin to plan things. You slow down and you begin to plan. You begin to plan. You begin to plan. At that age, you develop the right application of wisdom. You stop and you begin to think. You stop and you begin to think. You stop and you begin to think. So, after the age 30, you are more concerned about you failing than the world failing. See, below the age 30, you are concerned about, the world is this, the world, But after the age 30, you are more concerned about you feeling than the world feeling. At that time, you begin to fight for yourself because you realize that you are behind life. You are behind calendar. Nothing is working for you. At that time, you start fighting for yourself. Below that age, because someone was fighting for you, you were loudly fighting for the world. But reality will soon set in after the age 30. And you become a capitalist. You become self-focused. You began to think about yourself, more about other people. After the age 30, you will not you will not be concerned about what other people think. That is why I told most of you in the beginning of this teaching. I told you that if you marry any guy below the age 30, think very carefully. Plan very, very carefully. Do all the counseling that is afforded to you in this world because you are going to need it. If you marry any guy below the age 30. The reason is because after he is 30, reality is going to set in for him. Reality is going to come to him. And if you are not careful, there's going to be a shaking in your marriage. So think very, very carefully. There is no rush to get married. I told you from the beginning of this session that there was a poll conducted on CNN. They had it on CNN morning. They were talking to young kids from college. And each one of them said the right age to marry is in your 30s. I know most of you say, well, but I want to have a child. I want to do this. Well, are you planning to have 24 children? Are you planning to have 8 kids? Reality says in the civilization that we are in, you are not here to fulfill God's mandate, be fruitful and multiply the earth. The world is already multiplied. The world is already fruitful with children. So, you have to calculate very, very carefully. Think about the generation that you are living in. Think about the times and the seasons that you are living in. That the average household in the modern time has only 3 children. Think about it. The reason because children are expensive. They are not cheap. They cost a lot of money. So you must understand this. It was not like the former days. The principles of life have changed. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, these things go beyond church. These things have entered into the world of clinical psychologists, social science, social scientists, and all kinds of things. These are things that are really understood by research, even outside church. So you must understand these things very, very carefully. I am not saying that you cannot marry, get married. I'm not saying you cannot have children. Have your children whenever you want to have them. But I'm giving you something to think about right now. I'm giving you something to consider right now. That if you are in your 20s and you are married, give your marriage partner some room of growth. Because understand right now that they are going to grow more than they are right now after 30. So give them some room to grow. Don't get so aggravated by any little thing. Don't get so frustrated and upset about any little thing. At this age, don't do it. See, before, when your parents married at a young age, they married in a communal society. Where the society counseled them, where the society oversaw their marriage, so that they were not married out of a vacuum. Where these days, young people in their 20s married and they are living far away. Nobody talks to them. Nobody counsels them. Nobody comes into their marriage. Everything is inside. That is dangerous. So if that is what you choose to do, then what I will tell you right now is that think very, very carefully. Give your marriage partner some room of development, some room of growth, because whether you like it or not, it's going to come. It is going to come. You can't do nothing about it. It's just a principle of life. You can change it. Just allow it to take its effect. And that I can tell you that. The next thing I want to make you understand is that the age 30 in the ancient Babylonian teachings, the age 30 is considered the age of strength. The age of strength. So the age 30 is not just the age of the moment of truth. It's not just the age of leadership. It's not just the age of reality and practicality. It is not just the age of idealism and capitalism, but it is also considered in ancient Babylonian culture. It is considered as the moment of strength. It is considered the age at which one receives strength. The age 30 is considered the age at which one receives strength in the Eastern Babylonian culture. What kind of strength are we talking about? We are talking about the strength of character. It's the age where one receives the strength of character. For what? To pursue their goals, to pursue their destiny. That is why I told you that the age 30 changes the significance of your destiny. It changes your purpose in life. It enhances purpose. It brings out purpose. The reason is because your character is strengthened. Your boldness is stirred up after the age 30. And you understand those things. So the age 30 is the age where one's character is strengthened to pursue life's goals. To pursue life's goals and life purposes. If you have any questions, write them down. I will answer those questions for you very, very soon. Albert Camus made a statement and he said, age 30 is a crucial period in the life of a man. For at the age 30, he gains a new awareness of the meaning of time. Albert Camus lived in the 19th century. And he said that at the age 30, a person gains the meaning and the awareness of time. You begin to understand time, the reality of time. Time sets in for you at the age 30. Those of you who are below 30, if you don't know your calling, if you don't know your purpose, don't be afraid. There is no haste. Those of you who are below the age 30, if you have not attained your goals, don't panic. Don't be scared. You have more time. Because the age 30 brings the awareness of the meaning of time. And those of you who are above 30, you understand this already because you know that you have clocked time. If your life is not defined already, and you don't know what your purpose is, and you don't know what your calling is, and you are above 30 years of age, you are in big trouble. You are in big trouble. By this time, you are confused. By this time, you want to slap yourself. By this time, you just need to beg for help because you need it. But if you are below the age 30, don't rush. Don't rush. Take your time. This is the age for you. It is the age of preparation. If you are below the age 30, this is the age of foundation building for you. Don't rush. It is the age of foundation building. So don't rush yourself. Don't push yourself. Don't crash before your time. Solomon said, why be overly wise and die before your time? Don't push yourself. Wait. 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 Okay. So I have come to a conclusion. And I'm going to give you 10 things you must not do before the age 30. No. I'm going to give you 10 things you must do. 10 things you should be doing before you turn 30. 10 things you should be doing before you turn 30. If you are below the age of 30, write this down. 10 things you should be doing right now before you turn 30. Write this down. Number 1, guard your association and your partnership. Guard your association and your partnership. Those of you who are above 30 years, I'm going to give you 5 things you should not do after 30 years. If you are in your 40s, your 50s, whatever age, after 30 years, I'm going to give you 5 things you should never do if you are above 30. And those of you who are below 30 years of age, I am giving you 10 things you should be doing right now before you turn 30. 10 things you should be doing right now before you turn 30. Number 1, guard your partnership or your association, which means choose your friends. Choose your associations. You have a right. If nobody has ever told you that, you have a right to choose your friends. Not everyone is qualified to be your friend. Not everyone is qualified to partner with you in life. Don't just go to the movies with anyone for the sake of friendship. Don't just go anywhere with anyone for the sake of friendship. Choose your partnership. Choose your association. You have a choice. If nobody ever told you that, choose it right now. I know someone who chose very, very, very carefully at this age, below 30. And where they are right now in their life is mind-blowing. The reason is because they controlled the sphere of their association. Control who comes into your circle at this age. Do not partner by association. This is still number one. Do not partner by association, which means that don't let someone become your friend because they are the friend of your friend. Listen carefully. Do not partner by association. Don't let anyone become your friend because they are the friend of your friend. No. Choose your association. Choose your friendship. Choose your partnership wisely. And choose people who are better than you. Choose people who are smarter than you. Choose people who are intelligent than you. Don't choose anyone who is foolish than you are. Don't choose anyone who is stupider than you are. Don't choose anyone who is less intelligent than you are. Because the time is coming, you are going to need someone who is intelligent. And if they are not in your circle of influence, you are in defeat. Let the fools pick you as a friend and determine to choose them as a friend. But don't pick one. Choose very, very carefully. When I was in school, I made a decision that all my friends will be smarter than I am, or they will be smarter as I am. It's simple. Because if we are writing an exam, if I turn to the left or the right, I want someone who knows the answer to be seated next to me, not someone who does not know the answer. Amen. Be smart at this age. Be very, very smart at this age. Pick carefully. Guard your friendship. Guard your relationship very, very carefully. Because if you don't do it right now, you are going to regret it. After I turned into my 30s and my mid-30s and up, I began to realize that I should have ordered more friends. I will tell you why. Because the friends you pick this age will outlast the friends you pick after this age. The friends you pick this age will build more bonds than the friends you picked after the age 30. Understand that. The friends you pick before you are 30 will have more bound to your heart than the friends you pick after the age 30. Do you know you remember your childhood friends? You remember them more than the friends you have right now after your grown-up age. There is a reason for that. There is an affinity that begins from childhood. A bond that is connected at that age. Something that you share. So build those things right now. Connect yourself with the right people right now. See friends in prominent position right now. If you are below 30, and connect with them. Connect with them. Tell them, I want to be your friend. Find the mayor's daughter. Find the governor's son. Say, I want to be your friend. Connect yourself with people who are relevant. The Bible said, compare yourself to higher things. Pick your friends intentionally and deliberately. Pick your friends calculatedly. Listen to me. Don't feel bad about this. I want you to understand this rule in life. Everyone that comes into your life either comes to add or to subtract. So be wise. Do not feel bad about friendship. You must understand that people that you call friend are either adding to your life or they are taking from your life. Decide the addition and the subtraction right now. Decide the mathematics right now. Because a time is coming, you are going to look into your phone book and you are going to look for someone who can help you out. And everybody on your phone book is sitting in a one single bedroom or a studio. They can't even afford their rent. Left alone help you out in life. You don't want that in your life. Trust me. You do not want that. Pick your friends wisely right now. A time is coming, you want to start a business. You want a network of people that can invest into your business. A network of people that can cast their net with you. You need friends that you can connect with. Pick them right now before it's too late. Because after your 30s, nobody will trust you. Anybody that comes to affiliate with you is coming solely for what they will gain. Pick your friends right now before it's too late. I don't have time to spend on this. Number two, those of you who are below the age 30, 10 things you must do before you turn 30. 10 things you must do before you turn 30. Those of you who are above 30, I will tell you 5 things you must not do after I'm done with this. 10 things you should not do. Number 2, get an advisory board. Number 2, get a board of advisors. Number one, guard your partnerships and your associations. Anything I said is just a one. Number two, get a board of advisors. You need an advisory board. I said to a bunch of young people many years ago, over 8 years ago, I said to them, I said, the first company you form in life is Myself Incorporated. And Myself Incorporated needs a vision. It needs a mission. Myself Incorporated needs a board of advisors. Every great company today, every Fortune 500 company today is successful because of its board of advisors. You need one in your own life. You need a council of people around your life who will advise you. There are two kinds of board of advisors. The first one is called the mandated board. The mandated board. The mandated board is a board that is exclusively involved in decision making in your life. They are involved in decision making and they get paid to do it. I'm not asking you to form that one. The mandatory board. But there is the advisory board. The advisory board is in business. It is often used by entrepreneurs and things like that who don't have money to have a mandatory board. They go for board of advisories and things like that. So they find some people around who know certain things and they ask them advice. Those ones don't get paid. They don't make the decisions for you, but they guide you to make the decisions. Those are the people that you need. You don't need someone to make the decision for you. You need someone to guide you to make the decisions. Paul in the Bible puts it this way. He said, a heir or someone who is an inheritor of a property. He said, as long as he be a child, as long as he's a child, he is placed underneath tutors and governors. So Paul said he is placed underneath tutors and governors at a young age. Even though he has a potential to become a great person, at a young age, he must be placed underneath tutors and governors. Listen to me very, very carefully. Number two, get yourself an advisory board. Get yourself governors. People who advise you. It is dangerous to live a life where no one can advise you. It is dangerous to live a life where no one can speak into your life. It is a curse. It is dangerous. You will fail inevitably and you will fail miserably. This road of life can never be attained alone. You need advisory. Let me help you. 5 reasons why you need board of advisors. 4 reasons. Let me give 4 reasons. If I could, maybe 2 or 3, and I'll stop. The reason is that, number 1, skill. You don't have all the skills. When you have advisors around you, people who have already attained certain things in life, they could help you with what you are trying to do. And they will take nothing from you because you chose them. You chose them. And because you chose them, you are at will to fire them. If you don't like your advisors, get a new one. But never live a life without advisors. It will never get you anywhere in life. You will spend more time going around in circles than going forward in life. Get advisors. I'm telling you this. I know what I'm telling you. Get advisors. Get people around you who can advise you. Never be in a position where you cannot be advised. Never be in a position like that. Get people around you who can advise you. Number 2 reason why you need advisors is accountability. Every company asks for advisors because they want to be accountable for their actions. If you are accountable to no one, your budget will fail because you will budget and you will make no profit. See, people who run their own companies and they have no board of advisors, they cannot separate their company bank account from their personal bank account because there's nobody to audit them. There is nobody to hold them responsible. There is nobody to hold them accountable. It is dangerous. In your life, you must have someone who can hold you accountable. Go and place yourself in the hands of someone and tell them, I want you to hold me accountable for what I do in life. If I am going the wrong way, tell me. If I am saying the wrong things, tell me. If I am dressed the wrong way, tell me. You need an accountability board. Number 3, the reason why you need a board of director, advisory board, is because of credibility. Credibility, integrity, legitimacy. People will only endorse you if they know where you are coming from. People will only endorse you if they know where you are coming from. People will trust you. If you have never been mentored, if you have never been trained, people will question you. They will not trust you. People want to know whose hands you have been placed before they place themselves in your hands. You must know that. The credential of Elijah was that he was the one who washes the hands of, poured water on the hands of Elijah. The king said, that is a good recommendation. I want that guy. Before you can be placed in anyone's hands, place yourself in the hands. Before you can expect anyone to place themselves in your hands, place yourself in someone's hands. Humble yourself. Let someone help you. Number 4, a governor. You need a governor. You need a governor. A governing body. A governor is someone who takes hold of your assets and he gives it to you, or she gives it to you when you are of age. In the ancient civilizations, whether it is England, wherever it is, people in the royal family had governors who took care of them. They had tutors, they had governors, who were on top of them. And even though they were princes and princesses and all kinds of things, they were supposed to obey the voice of the governor or the governess. You must have a governor in your life, someone who is responsible for your bank account. At this age, if you don't have a governor in your life, someone who is responsible for your bank account, you'll be using your money for something that you should not be using it for, but you think it is important, and it is not. But you will not know that until after the age 30. Place your money in the hands of a governor. Place your money. Even royalty is placed in the hands of a governor. And when the prince becomes of age, he is handed over his royal property. How much more you? You are also royalty in some form of in some form of shape. Place your property so that you will not misdirect it, you will not waste it, so that before you take your own $10, before you take your own $100, you ask permission to take it from a governor. It will help your life. Okay, so let's go back to number 3, right? Number 3. 10 things you must do before the age 30. 10 things you must do before the age 30. Control your finances. Control your finances. So I spoke about governorship, controls your finances, when I spoke about number 2. Control your finances. As I said before, place your finances in the hands of someone at this age, because you are going to need that money. You are going to need that money. Don't work for any money and pocket it. When you work for something, place it in the hands of a governorship. The bank is not good enough to keep your money from your hands. Trust me. The bank is not good enough to keep your money from your hands. Give your governor access to your bank. That is why you must trust your governor. Number 4, challenge and question everything. Challenge and question everything. If you are below the age 30, this is the age to challenge and question everything. Question everything. Have you ever heard the saying that children ask the most ridiculous questions? It's a good thing, because children learn as they grow from asking questions. Children who do not ask questions don't grow well. Those of you say African parents, they had issues with how they brought us up, because they didn't allow us to ask questions. Every time we wanted to ask questions, they'll be like, "Oh, children don't ask those questions. Don't ask that question. You're a child." Those of you from the Caribbean also have those maybe minor experiences and things like that. But that is not a good thing. When I came over here in the US, I realized that Caucasian parents allow their children to ask any questions. And it's a good thing. It's a smart thing. The reason is because children will only learn from the questions that they ask. If they don't ask you, they will ask their friends. If they don't ask you, they will find out from somewhere. They will Google it, and Google does not always give the best answers. You want to be the one answering those questions. So, allow your children to ask any question. If you are below the age 30, ask any question, no matter how stupid it is. This is the age where you are allowed to ask stupid questions. After the age 30, you are not forgiven for asking a stupid question. You are held responsible for it. Ask any question and challenge everything. So do not just ask questions, challenge everything. Whatever they told you you can do, do it. Whatever they told you you can do, do it. Challenge everything. Now, that is a very dangerous statement. The reason is because some of you will get a license to go smoke weed. Some of you will get a license to go and drink liquor. Some of you will get a license to go do some stupid things, party all night, get drunk, get laid, and all kinds of things and stuff like that. But that, you know the answer to that already. Basically. Because not only do we learn from our own experiences, we learn from other people's experience. That's why I say ask questions before you do anything. Before you challenge anything, before you do anything, ask questions. Ask questions. It is a foolish thing to fall into a hole that your mother fell into. Don't do it. Ask questions. Ask questions. All right. I don't have time, so I'll keep on going. Number 5. Discover your calling and your purpose. Discover your calling. If you are below the age of 30, discover your calling and your purpose. If you are above the age 30 and you don't know your calling and your purpose yet, you are in trouble. I'll talk about you later when I'm done with this. So discover your calling and your purpose. 5. Number 6, start a business. Start a business. If you are below the age 30, start a business, not a marriage. Start a business. If you are below the age 30, start a business, not a marriage. It doesn't matter what business it is. Start one. Even if it means selling candy on Facebook, do something. Start anything. Start something. If you look, every successful person began something before the age 30. Every successful person began something before the age 30. Start something right now. It doesn't matter what it is. Start something. Start something. Do something right now. Because after the age 30, I'll talk to you about that later. Number 7, choose your environment and adapt to it. Below the age 30, understand your environment. If you are below the age 30, understand the environment that you are and adapt to that environment. Adapt to it. Number 8, mistakes are costly. Number 8, write this down. Take the test now. And if you must fail, fail now. Take that test now. If you must fail it, fail right now. Failure after the age 30 hurts more than it's going to hurt right now. You are allowed to fail more right now than after the age 30. After the age 30, every failure is going to cost you. After the age 30, every failure is going to create a huge mark in your life that you cannot erase. But whatever mistakes you make right now, below the age 30, you can erase it. You can erase it. Make your mistakes right now. Make your mistakes right now. Make your mistakes right now. Mistakes are costly. They are expensive to make. If you must make them, do it right now. Do those mistakes right now. Take the test right now and fail. And try again. Number 9, try and error. Success to the greatest people on earth has been as a result of trying and failing. Trying and failing. Trying and failing. You have up until this age to fail in life. To try and to fail. Anyone below the age 30, try and fail. You don't know what your purpose is? Try everything and fail. Try and fail. Start a business. If it doesn't work, you start from a candy business. It doesn't work. Start a knife business. It doesn't work. Start an egg business. It doesn't work. Try and fail. Try and fail. Because right now, someone is helping you out in life. After the age 30, your try and your fail will cost you. Because nobody will be helping you out in life. You have rent to pay. You just need a job that pays the rent and not a job that makes you happy. So try and fail right now at everything that you do. Number 10, and the final thing before I move to those of you above the age 30. Number 10, get a religion. Number 10, get a religion. Does it matter what religion it is? Yes, but get a religion. It could be Buddhism, it could be Scientology, it could be Islam, it could be whatever it is. Get a religion. You are not trusted in any leadership role unless you have an ethical principle upon which you stand. In the US government, for you to run for any position, you must have a religion. That is why politicians go to church, not because they like Jesus. Get a religion. But may I advise you, if you are not a Christian, you are not saved. Become a Christian, become saved. Because it is the only religion that will sustain you for eternity and not only for this lifetime. But while you are on earth, get a religion. Get a religion. It will shape your life. Your religion has an effect on who you are. Romney, we are told, lost the election because of his Mormon religion. Obama nearly lost because they said he was half a Muslim. If you want to win something in the US, just become a Christian. Get a religion. Get a religion. Get a religion at this age. Don't stand there and say, I don't believe in anything. Nobody cares if you don't believe in anything. Believe in something, because if you don't believe in something and you run for office, people will not trust you because you don't believe in anything. And if you don't believe in anything, nothing regulates your life principles. People want to know what you submit to. People want to know what you bow to. People want to know what you give reverence to. A man who gives reverence to nothing is afraid of nothing. And such a person you should be afraid of. People who do not have a religion sometimes say they pray to the universe because they need something to keep their heart steady. They need something to keep their heart at peace. You need a religion. But I recommend to you, become saved, become born again, become a Christian. Now, let me talk about the next thing. 5 things you must never do after the age 30. 5 things you must never do after the age 30. Don't dress like you are in high school. Number 1, don't dress like you are in high school. Listen very, very carefully. The world, Shakespeare said the world is a stage. And all of us are a part of it. Dress for your part. Dress for your part. Don't dress like some person who is coming from a hip hop video. Dress for the part and the role you want to play in life. If you want to be an executive, look like it. Think like it. Behave like it. Conduct yourself like it right now. Start doing it. If after your age 30, you are still wearing caps and you are turning them around, you wear a cap and you turn them around, you have issues. You have issues. Watch your TV. Watch the people that they interview on CNN, people that they interview on ABC, people that they interview on those TVs, and they take advice and counsel for them. When they call for the expert, ask yourself, how do they dress? Your life will be taken seriously by how you dress for the part you are playing. So dress. If at this age you are dressing after the age 30 and your pants are sagging and you are showing your underwear, you have issues. You have a problem. Dress your part and don't be playing video games at this age. Life at this age, don't be sitting around playing video games and say, oh, this is for exercise. Go and run if you want to exercise. Go to the gym if you want to exercise. Understand these things. It will help your life. Dress well. If you have a small business that you are doing at home, dress well in your business. Dress well. Wear a shirt. Wear a tie. Dress well. Dress well. Dress well at this age. The next thing, number 2, if you are above the age 30, you should not be sharing a room with anyone. If you are above the age 30 and you are still living like you are in college, you have a dorm mate, it is not a good thing for you. Some of you are married and you and your husband or you and your wife, you are sharing a place with somebody else. Don't do it. Even if you have to use your last cent to be paying your rent every month, it is smarter than getting a housemate or a roommate at this age. You don't need it. Plan your life carefully. At this age, you should not be having a roommate. You are old to be by yourself. You are old to begin life. Don't have a roommate after the age 30. It is better to live with your mother and your father than to be having a roommate. Not at this age. Don't do it. Especially those of you who are married. Don't do it at all. It will kill your marriage. It will destroy your marriage. It will mess up the environment of your marital home. Don't have a roommate. I know some of you claim financial issues. Please, I know people who are making less than you and they still don't have a roommate. You can make it work if you want to try. Push yourself. Stretch yourself. Make it work. Do not. You would think you are saving money. You think you are being wise, but it is not wise. Solomon said, why die before your time and be overly wise? Don't do it. Don't do it. You are not saving any money. You are not saving any money by doing that. You are only killing yourself and you are killing your marriage by doing that. Don't do it. If nobody ever told you, I'm telling you, don't do it. Number 3, don't ask for handouts after the age 30. If at the age 30, you are still asking for handouts, your life is disorganized. Your life needs help. Your life needs change. I'm not saying that you are not going to do this in your life at this age. You probably are doing it. But I am trying to indicate to you that it is something that you should not be doing. It is something that is not good for you. So don't do it. As much as you can, avoid it. As much as you can, avoid it. Don't do it. The next thing, number 4, don't be confused about your calling and your purpose. At this age, after the age 30, you should know what your calling is. You should know what your purpose is. If you don't know that, get yourself a mentor. Get yourself someone to help you find your purpose and your direction in life. Because you are behind your calendar. You are behind your life calendar. Number 5. No try and errors at this age. No try and errors at this age. At this age, every try and error is expensive. It will cost you. It will mess you up. So don't do try and errors at this age. Avoid it as much as you can at this age. Yes, once in a while it will happen. Once in a while it will occur, but avoid it if you can. It will benefit you a lot. Let me conclude on this note. Decisions and life applications at the age 30. The age 30 is a transitional period. It's an age of transition in your life. From the age of innocence into the age of maturity. At the age 30, a person is focused on their true talent. At the age 30, a person is focused on their true talent. At the age 30, your goals are tested. Your goals are tested. That's why I said that below the age 30, tries and errors. By the age 30, you are tested and you are proven. You are tested and you are proven. So there is no need for trials and errors. At the age 30, your desires are genuine. From the age 30, your desires are genuine. That is why I said you have making any decisions, career decisions, marriage decisions, whatever decisions below the age 30s. Problems with that. At the age 30, decisions are genuine. They are genuine. At the age 30, you develop a concrete ability to foresee your success and to pursue it. You develop a concrete ability to foresee your success and to pursue it. And finally, life begins at the age 30. So I'm done today. And thank you for joining us. I know this is a very, very long session today. It's almost 2 hours I've been speaking to you today. I hope this has been very, very beneficial to you one way or the other. In fact, I was trying to end this as soon as I can, but it was a long lesson and I don't want to continue this throughout the day. I just want to do it just one day and give it and then call it a game. So we are done for today. If you have any questions you want me to answer for you, I'll take the questions in 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, I'll be completely done. So if you have any questions, you can ask them and I'll take your questions. And then let me see if let me answer these questions that came in. Okay, there are 3 questions over here. But if you have any questions, you can post them on the Facebook live chat. And if you are listening also on YouTube, you can post it on the YouTube live chat and I'll answer your question for you as well. So let me pick these 3 questions that came in. So what about people who are younger than 30 that has a leadership position? Okay. Yeah. So people who are younger than 30 with a leadership position, my advice to you is that have board of directors who are older than you. Have people who are, surround yourself with older people. When I became a pastor, I was younger than 30, but everyone in my board was older than me. And up until today, I'm the youngest person in the church leadership. So I want you to understand that things happen. So if you are young, you are in a leadership role, have people around you who are older than you. Don't just have them for the sake of having them. Listen to their counsel. I told you that there is power in age. There is power in age. There is wisdom in age. So gather yourself, people around you, and take their counsel, access their counsel, and things like that. The next question is this. What about research showing after 30 years it becomes difficult to have kids or healthy kids? Well, I mean, research does not show that. You'll find it difficult having children in your 30s. In fact, one of the things that I left out, there was a scientific research that was done in Britain and the US just recently. It was done by, it was done in Harvard, and the research concluded that, sex is better in your 30s, and women enjoy sex in their 30s than they ever enjoy sex. It is also says that sexual pressures increase in your 30s than any time in your life. So women in their 30s have more urges, more desires for sex than they had even in their 20s or below their 30s. And I could understand why. This is my deduction from the scientific research. It could be that maybe these women realize that maybe after 30s, sex is going to be something else because, time is clocking. So I don't know, but according to the research, there is more excitement for women having sex in their 30s than any time in their life period of time. And it is said that women are more fertile in their 30s according to the scientific research, women are more fertile in their 30s. Now, previously, this was not known, but a recent research has taught us that women are more fertile in their 30s than they will ever be. So, like I said before, if all what you want to have is 1, 2, 3 children, it is okay. Now, I am not saying you can't have children before you are 30s. Of course, you can. I only gave you the lessons I gave you so that you can be very, very cautious as to how you approach these things. I also wanted you to understand how the systems of this generation and this century and this time period that you are in works right now, so that you understand that people are not having more than 2 children in this century, in this period of time. There are reasons for that. You can go, you can research and understand that. But the little I can make you understand is that, the reality of life has set in for all of us. And we also understand that right now the woman works, the man works. So having more children is not feasible for the household. Women are building careers and they don't have time for children and things like that. So all these things set in. And then there are other reasons as well, as I've spoken to you before. The next question is this. What are signs you should move from a season and into? What are the signs that you should move from your season and into your purpose? Okay. So someone is asking, what are the signs that you should move from your season? Yes, you should move from your season into your purpose. What are the signs? Okay. Now, there is a difference between calling and there's a difference between purpose and calling. A calling calls you into your purpose. A purpose is why you were called. A purpose is the reason for the calling. And there are seasons of maturity for anyone to launch into their calling or to launch into your purpose specifically. You can ride your calling for a while before you move into your purpose. Now the reason is because of the time is that when it comes to purpose, you need time for preparation and you need time for foundations. When it comes to your purpose, seasons and timing is very, very crucial, as you have said. For you to understand your season, you must first of all understand your preparation. You must ask yourself certain questions. Am I prepared for this? Many years ago, when I was coming into ministry, I told you that I had governors. I submitted myself to someone for counseling. And when I was in ministry, I went to the person and I was asking the person some questions about my ministry, because at that time I was getting so many invitations all around the world to go minister and all kinds of things. And I was not interested in pastoring a church. And I was receiving more invitations and things like that. And one of my governors told me this. She said that the greatest mistake you can make is to think that you are ready for the world when the world is not ready for you. That got me to pause and to think about my life, because I felt I was ready. I felt that, man, I'm going to do this. I'm anointed for this. I've been called for this. And I felt like the world was going to end right now. So it's like, God, just send me out there to preach the gospel that no one was preaching. So I was zealous. I was on fire. The fire service could not stop me. So really, I was really ready for this. But when she made that statement, she said to me that you may think that you are ready for the world, but the world may not be ready for you. Now, every product that is introduced before its time does not succeed. Any product that is introduced before its time. You see, the touch screen phone was introduced before Apple introduced it, but it did not succeed until Apple introduced it. The reason is because when Apple introduced it, they did it better. They made it user-friendly so that even your grandmother can use it. But before that, it was complicated. So before you move into your purpose, ask yourself this: is the world prepared and ready for what I am carrying to deliver? The world must have a demand for you before you present yourself. Supply is as a result of demand. To live your season into your purpose, obey the law of supply and demand. Let me get the other questions if you have them, and take this, please. Okay. So, so Pastor, you said life begins at 30. I thought they said life begins at 40. Okay, now life does not begin at 40. But what begins at 40 is that 40 is called the age of establishment or the age of settlement. 40 is the time where people settle in life. At the age 30, you have not yet settled yet. But at that age is the age of decision making. It's the age where you have moved from infancy, the age of the age of innocence, into the age of maturity. So because the age 30 is considered the age of decision making, where you move into a major transition in your life, that is why it is called the moment of truth in life. That is why it is called that is why I said that life begins at age 30. But the age 40 is the age of settlement. People at the age 40 are more concerned about family. They are more concerned about settling with their children, settling with their family, their work. They are more concerned with the values of life and things like that. And so that age 40 is the age of settlement and establishment. Is that the question? Okay. On the next question, what if you are in your late 20s and find yourself already transforming from a communist to a capitalist mindset? Okay. Now I say that anyone below the age 30 is a communist, and anyone above the age 30 is a capitalist. Now, this is a principle. There are exceptions to the rules, and I said that in the beginning, that some people grow faster than some people. We must understand that very, very carefully, though the principles are relevant to all of us. I also made a statement, and I said that women grow faster than men do. A woman at the age 25 is not the same as a man at the age 25. Women grow faster. That is why when women and men are in a relationship, the woman is looking ahead, the man is still looking at now. Women grow faster. They look ahead more than men look ahead, because the growth of men are very, very slow. That's why I said that if you're a woman and you are marrying a man, in their 20s, it is something you must pray about carefully, ask counseling about, go to counseling, all kinds of things. Be sure about the relationship. Of course, people have succeeded in this relationship, but just be very, very sure, because you will go through challenges after the age 30. To answer the question, yes, a lot of people may evolve into a capitalist right upward from the age 25, 26, 27, 28, especially from the age 27, 28, and 29, within that bracket of 27 going up to the age 29. A lot of people may evolve into a capitalist where they become more self-centered, self-absorbing. They begin to think about themselves more and all kinds of things. So yes, that is a likelihood, and that's possible. Are there any more questions? I could take maybe one more question and I'm done today. Are we done with the questions? Okay. So I believe we are done with the questions today. Thank you all for joining me today. And what I'll be doing in 2 weeks' time, I'll be talking about something. I'll be talking about vision in 2 weeks' time. I'll be talking about the power of vision. The power of vision. What do you see? What do you see? You become what you see. What you are doing right now is as a result of what you are seeing. So I'll be talking about vision. I'll give you 7 principles as to how to gain lost vision. 7 principles how to gain lost vision. And I'll give you 10 executive principles to execute your vision. After purpose, what is the next stage? The next stage is vision. So I'll talk about vision the next time we meet, which is in 2 weeks. Keep your eyes on my page. Share this page with somebody else. If it has been a blessing to you, share it on your page. Share it on YouTube, social media, anywhere. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. This is Cephas Kafui, and God bless.